hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I didn't unmute that, so sorry about that, guys. Those of you on YouTube, you just got to look at me with no sound at all, but here it is. We are live and underway, and I hope you're having a great Saturday. It is been a really smoky day here. We got lots of forest fires going around, and I woke up and thought, oh my God, it must be about to rain, which is awesome because we haven't had any moisture for a long time. But I went outside and you smell it, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's smoke.
It's smoke.
It's smoke. And what's that noise? Did you guys hear that? EVP? It's not an EVP. It is our good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard. Welcome back.
Hey.
It's been a while.
It's only been like a week and a half.
It feels like forever. That's all I can tell you.
That's a song, isn't it?
I'm sure it must be on it. I mean, everything's a song, right?
Yes.
But how you been? Good?
Good. Yeah. You know, just, I got a couple emails that I really appreciate this week. Thank you very much for caring. I've just been working weird hours, and then I had cold that, not really a head cold, it was a sinus infection. That I get every year, but everything's fine now. I'm back. Thank you much.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you back.
I love you all.
And everybody loves you too. It's good to have you back, though. I mean, it's always fun for me to have you here because, you know, it's just, you're like the ricochet chamber, and you know we bounce off of each other, and it's nice. We get this momentum going between us, and things just get all kinds of stupid in a hurry. And I miss that when you're not here.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine.
Sorry, that was just being cheeky, of course. No, I am glad you're here though.
Excellent.
Wonderful you made it, and welcome to all of you out there in listener land. We are thrilled you're here. Everyone that is here, and we got a lot on the plate here for you tonight, but hopefully we'll have a good time doing it. But if you have something paranormal of your own that you'd like to share, some experience or some input on things we are talking about, then by all means call in. The number for the show is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. If you're on the YouTube channel watching us live, you'll see that the number is way up above my head. There's a bit of a gap, but it's right under the words Paranormal Portal up in the upper left corner of your screen. So you can always call in. We love hearing from you guys and hearing what you got to say. And so we got that going for us.
We got something going for us.
We got something going for us,
wow.
But hope everything is fantastic. You guys are all set to go. You've got your libation of choice. The lights have been lowered, and maybe a candle or two lit. Or you're just cuddled up in bed.
Is Titty Pendergrass going to start playing?
I don't know what that is.
Starting to sound like, you know.
That sounds
hey,
familiar.
Baby.
Oh, some Barry White.
Some Barry White. Titty Pendergrass.
Sure. No, it's just the musings of our voices, Don.
Sir Isaac Hayes.
The dulcet tones of us, Don.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, we got a lot of paranormal stuff to talk about tonight. And we're doing a lot more creepy cryptid stuff. I forgot what I called this show. What did I call it? Creepy cryptids and more. And that about sums up. But usually the and more is a big part of the show because we don't always have any idea where we're going, but wherever we end up, that's the show. We don't plot our course real rigidly because
we just plot.
Do you remember
we
that?
We don't plot the course. We plod the. Remember the train wrecks that we actually scripted?
Yeah, that was my point. Back in the day, we tried to aim the shows at something.
Yeah, we used to have like we want to go this way tonight.
Yeah, and we would try to get all this stuff ready, and then it would just go freaking sideways anyway. So now it's just like, oh, this is kind of the ballpark we're in. Where we end up is where we end up, because you find out after a while that the shows actually have a life of their own, and it's really strange, but they do. The shows kind of write themselves, so all we do is just pull up a bunch of material and kind of,
go to it.
Yeah, we just start going, and wherever the show goes is where we'll ride it. We're definitely not in control of the Paranormal Portal, but we're like surfers. We're surfing the wave, trying to just stay on our feet. That's
we're more like hang gliders that their safety line snapped.
Yeah,
and they're hanging like this.
Yeah, by our necks.
Hang in there, baby.
Yeah. Don's the kitten on the branch with one claw.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the one. But we are ready to get underway, I think, right, Don?
Yeah, it sounds great to me.
Well, and we got some stuff to start with. What the hell did I have to pull up? Oh, I had it scrolled down. I found this real. We haven't done a lot of UFO stuff, but I love the UFO stuff because I think it's really interesting, and specifically, and I want to copy this article and paste it in the TFR chat because, if anybody's in there.
The link, yeah.
Yeah, the link. I want to give you guys the link in TFR because I'm going to put it up on screen. Oh, Jesus, what did I do with that? There it is. There it is. There it is. It's okay, folks. I got it all figured out. I'm going to put it up on screen here on the monitor for our YouTube listeners. What it is apparently a crop circle was created around a tree. And I thought, God, that's really interesting. I've not seen that before. I'm not going to play the video that's embedded with it, but we'll talk about what it says. I don't know where you're at, everybody out there, with the whole crop circle thing, but I'll tell you, there's some pretty amazing crop circles that have been formed. If you get a chance to look into it, I would suggest that you do because there is really some wild anomalies with, legitimate crop circles, not just some guys a six-pack and a couple boards with, a lot of time on their hands. Some of these crop circles are absolutely amazing, elaborate, and, they do boggle the imagination. Now, is it possible people could make that? Sure, it is, but there's some weird anomalies that have been recorded on these crop circle sites. The legitimate ones, again, I'm talking about. And the ones in question will have the stalks of the plants are not actually broken. They're like bent. So they're not like snapped down and laying down. They are bent and laying down. There has been some radioactivity that was measured that's above background radiation to show that something happened there. What are some of the other weird things done for crop circles?
Well, yeah, there's the radiation. There's also, you mentioned the bending, not the breaking of the corn. Right. There's also the burst. I forget what they're called. It's because of the radiation. It boils the water. It boils the moisture inside it and blows them out.
Right.
And there's also the intricate shapes and things like that are sometimes not understood because it's not of this earth.
Right.
But that's kind of the most part. But I find the weird part is there's no like landing gear or something like that. No deep impressions.
Yeah.
It looks like it's literally just come down and lasered a thing in the grass and went away.
Right.
So.
And if you watch the first break that'll be coming up, if you're on YouTube, you get to see this video compilation that I threw together. And
beautiful piece of work it is.
Well, thank you. But one of the first videos that's shown in that chain of videos is a crop circle that was allegedly created as people watched and filmed it. Right. And it's out of England. And I think it's not like it would be impossible to fake, but there was enough witnesses to it that it doesn't seem likely that it was faked. It's never been successfully debunked that I know of. So, very interesting. But the crop circle thing is pretty wild. And so this is talking about one that was formed around a tree, and let's see what it has to say. It says, one of the more unique crop circles to appear in quite some time was recently spotted in England and features a tree at the center of the design. The fantastic formation was reportedly found this past Monday, and this was August 6th, so it's brand new. By the way, this comes from coasttocoastam.com. And so it's really recent. Is this past Monday in a field near the community of what is that? Devises?
Whatever.
Devises is what it looks like. Okay. Although not particularly intricate, the design, which consists of a large circle surrounded by a ring that features 4 smaller spheres, is undeniably eye-catching thanks to its creative incorporation of the tree in the field. Understandably, interpretations as to what the formation might mean to convey have focused on its centerpiece, with some suggesting that it's supposed to represent the tree of life, or Yggdrasil. And the 4 surrounding circles are the seasons of the year. Given the countless number of crop circles that have appeared over the years, it stands to reason that the design is probably not the first formation to sport a tree in its center. That said, a cursory search online has so far failed to yield any similar cases from the past. So it could be an original concept. Now, the question is, Don, what do you think? Is that likely legitimate, or do you think it's just creative work by somebody?
Well, okay, so we just mentioned, the burst.
Yes.
The burst, from the radiation. So why is the tree alive?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, because it looks like it goes right up to the base of the tree. It doesn't look like
it really does. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my major question. If there's that much radiation, but apparently it's directed radiation because, it makes these intricate straight
Patterns,
lines, clean lines, whether they be circles or arcs or whatever.
Right.
They're clean.
Yep.
So maybe they can just, push it right up to there and only make it go so deep into the ground and
Sure.
not kill the roots. I don't know.
Maybe it's the intensity is it's
maybe.
enough to knock the wheat down or whatever this
Right.
plants are, but not enough to directly affect the tree. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of either or for me. I don't know. There's not always any sightings that correlate with these things, but there is sometimes, and I'd be curious if anything was sighted in the area anomalously in the sky prior to this or around this time, because that certainly could lend it a lot more credibility. Now, the design itself isn't extraordinarily intricate, though. It's
it's rather understated.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I think they could have added more curves. We're like crop circle critics, but I think it's very precise and beautiful. But what is it? I don't know if it's done by aliens. You guys will have to let us know what you think about that, because are the aliens sending messages? Is there some other intelligence sending us messages through these crop circles, or what do you guys think? Because for me, I really don't know. I think it's possible, and I'm certainly not a skeptic of it. But I don't know who is doing it, or why they would be doing it, or why is it so cryptic? Why is it so nebulous and open to extreme interpretation? I don't know. But anyway, there was a crop circle, I think, that was found pretty recently that might have somebody interpreted it as having possibly something to do with the coof, the illness that's plaguing our world, our Earth. And
coof.
It was said that some people interpreted it to mean that it was suggesting a treatment to the disorder, but I never did grab onto it. I think I don't know where I heard it or where I saw it, but I did see that recently. So in that case, if that is indeed the case, if that's the what the crop circle suggests, then I find that incredibly compelling, and certainly would lend a lot of credibility to the idea that these are messages, and we're supposed to understand them in order to to do whatever. But cool article all the same. I like those. I think those are awesome. Oops, I went back to my camera, but you're here now. I can go back to your camera too.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm not used to somebody sitting there anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah, I understand. True.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being cheeky, Don. You're always a part of the show. Let's continue on here, though.
Certainly.
Let's see. I got a bunch of these pulled up. So let's. Oh, how do I have 2 pages of those pulled up? Okay. Let's get to the next article. And this has to do with some possible Bigfoot sightings. This is from last year. Looks like June of last year. Sorry, it's a very, very small font. But it has to do with some Bigfoot sightings in northeastern Georgia, allegedly.
Ah.
And this is coming from animalien.com. I guess I can just put it on screen with us. Have some visual fun along with the show, Don. So I'll put all of us on the screen.
Sounds wonderful.
We'll all be there representing our works. So again, this is coming from animalien.com. Possible Bigfoot sightings reported twice in northeastern Georgia. And it says 2 men reportedly saw the legendary biped on 2 separate occasions within 1 week. Ooh, within a week, Don.
Wow.
The first encounter between Elijah and Blue Ridge, that's Elijah, right? Yeah. And Blue Ridge took place on May 20th at around 8:30 p.m. I guess I should put this. No, I mean, there's nothing visually that I need to give it. Send out the link to anybody else, right? It's just words. But the witness stated he saw a 7 or 8 foot tall, 7 to 8 foot tall, hairy, 2-legged creature with a pointed head walking in the nearby woods. He noted that from its sides it had very long arms. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to show a video clip as well tonight. I almost forgot about it.
Awesome.
But it says, he said that the arms were very long and it walked with the arms extended from its sides, the post continues. He pulled over, skidding on the gravel, and waited on the backside of the small patch of woods, thinking it would emerge on the other side, but it never did. It outsmarted him, eh? A few days later in Rayburn County, another man reported seeing a black/gray creature. He watched it walk through a field and even got out of his vehicle to get a better view, but it turned and saw him before he walked into some woods after getting within 50 feet of the creature.
Wow.
You'd think you'd know, right? If you were within 50 feet, I mean, you'd get a good idea for the size of it, right?
I would say yes, because you would be able to notice, like, say, like the height in relation to like a signpost or
right.
Something that you would be able to go back and measure at least.
Right.
So yeah, I think you would. I think you'd get an idea of that.
Yes, I think so too. I'm just looking at this little article clip here that they have. Looked like a Bigfoot cross this patch of woods. Stranger just smiled and said, "I believe you." Okay, so let me read. That's Pete Travers' artwork. Okay, so Pete Travers did the artwork on here. It's just a couple sketches for those of you that don't have the link, but it looks like 1,000 other Bigfoot sketches that are out there.
Looks like Mr. Patty. Daryl Patty.
Pete.
Pete Patty.
Pete and Patty.
Pete.
He's apparently a long way from home. But it's these sightings pop up everywhere. I guess that's nothing really exceptional about it. But the second one, I guess I could read the first one. There's 2 clips here. It says, Bigfoot sightings between LJ and Blue Ridge Monday night, 5:20 at 8:30 p.m. May 20th at 8:30 p.m. It was still light out. The driver braked when he saw what he described as a very dark, 7 to 8 foot tall, hairy 2-legged creature with a pointed head walk along the shoulder and into the woods. He said the arms were very long, and it walked with the arms extended from its sides. He pulled over, skidding on the gravel, and waited on the backside of the small patch of woods, thinking it would emerge on the other side. But it never did, and when a man approached him with a stick in his hand, asking if he could help him, he said, "I just saw what looked like a Bigfoot cross this patch of woods." And the stranger just smiled and said, "I believe you," and walked away. That's kind of wild. That's very interesting. you got to think that stranger's seen him then too.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
oh yeah,
It's
okay.
like nothing new. Yeah, I
Yep.
believe you. No big deal.
So the second one says a man called Monday after he saw the post about a sighting in Cherry Log. Is that a town? I guess it is. I don't know where it is exactly, but Cherry Log. And he called to say that he saw a black gray one in Rayburn County near Clayton on his way to work on Monday morning. It was walking through a field early a.m. and knelt down at a branch where where there are trout present. Okay. At this point, he was at his closest to the creature, about 50 feet. When the witness moved, he exited his truck to get a better view. The creature saw him and walked back to the woods. This gentleman, like so many others, was never a believer. That's pretty cool.
Huh.
Well, he is now.
Yeah, no doubt. And all it took was a fish. He was probably just getting breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little breakfast, a little trout in the morning. Get the motor running. That's pretty interesting. Just a couple sightings. Nothing. It says no conclusive explanation has yet been found for either sighting, and that's obviously that's normal. They just kind of appear.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of disappear.
And it just kind of happened by. You ever notice that a lot of these sightings are like, yeah, it just kind of kept going.
Yeah. That's the weird part, and that's the part I always puzzle about. Is like, because just given the history, it seems they put a lot of effort into avoiding people,
Right.
and staying away. But then you get these weird reports. It's like, it looked over, saw me, and then just wandered off into the woods. Like it's not like, oh God, there's a person, get out of here. They're just like, yeah.
So, hey, what's up? I'm going this way. See you. I'll see you next Tuesday.
He's like, what you gonna do about it, huh? And that's a good point.
Well, that's like Digger Dog just asked. He told a joke. He said, "Why did Bigfoot cross the road?
Why?
What's a road?"
Good point. Good point. They don't really know.
It's just a bare patch in their
In the
truck.
terrain, yeah. Yeah, I suppose they aren't probably very respectful of the rules of the roadway,
No,
or pedestrian laws and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
they don't understand the words game crossing.
No, but it reminds me of those.
You should really move those signs that say game crossing.
Why don't they move the game crossing down to a less dangerous place? It's right on a corner there. It's like the deer are not looking at signs.
That guy looked at her and said, "Do you seriously think that the deer are looking at the signs?"
Oh, I know.
And she's like, "Yeah."
Oh dear God. Some people are really not
Tuned in.
into the natural world.
Oh man.
They're more in a cartoon place, I
Yeah.
think. It's like, yeah, let's just pick up a paper here and see what's going on in people land. It's like these animals don't read. They don't obey signs. But anyway, that's allegedly a true story. I don't know if it actually is, but it's hilarious anyway.
It was a good one. Mm-hmm. Anyhow. Oh, we're on the network tonight.
We are. Yeah, we are.
Okay.
How we doing? We got about 3 minutes until the break. So
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm just not even aware of that anymore.
I know you're out of touch, dude.
I'm like, hey, out of time. Sorry.
So I think that it is funny though that they just appear and they don't seem bothered by it. Like if people see them or not, they're not in a big hurry. They're just like, oh God, I gotta go. There's more of them around here. There's the bald ones again.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of funny because you would think they'd go, oh God, they saw me, dang it, and duck down and crawl away or whatever. And that does happen as well. But there's one family that was on their back porch, and I don't remember where, if it was like Texas or Arkansas or somewhere, but they were kind of having like a outside barbecue or whatever, and in the hayfield behind their house, or straw or whatever, it was a field. They see this head bobbing around, and it just kind of went around and it went along and went behind like a rise in the land. It was on a low spot, so it kind of went behind there,
Right.
and then it disappeared for a while, and the next thing you know, it popped up like 30 yards away. It just kind of popped up, so it was like it got down and maybe belly crawled or just crawled low through period or a part of that field, and then pop back up, and it's like people, they lost track of it. And they're like, oh no, there it is, and then they start going, hey, hey, they're they're yelling at it.
Right.
I guess the thing kind of turned and just like looked at them, and then it kind of like squared off, and then they all got freaked out, and everybody starts screaming and runs in the house. But it's like it wasn't really too concerned. There wasn't like this urgency by this thing. It was just like, ah, God, they're here too. Okay.
You know, I wait for this story that says, yeah, pretty much he just kind of flew me the bird and walked away. I was like,
yeah, I
like,
know.
Hey, chew on this. Eh.
Yeah, it's like just the New Yorkers forget about it. You know, that's quite a cough, brother. I don't know if we got to figure out a way to mute you. That's pretty loud in the microphone. But anyway,
right.
we are gonna continue. Obviously, we have a new podcast coming out tomorrow. I want to make sure to mention that because we are growing in not only in YouTube here, but also the podcast has been doing it really well. If you're new to the show, you'll notice that on Friday, Saturday nights, we are also simulcasting on the network, which is tfrlive.com. That's our mother network, the network where the Paranormal Portal started when we were just an internet radio show.
Well, we was just the little babies.
We were. But there's commercial breaks every half hour if you're new to the show here on YouTube. Just be aware. And so rather than play you guys a bunch of network commercials, I created these little video segments to play during that period. So when we go to the breaks, which we have to do because that's the network schedules. The show is on tfrlive.com, also on iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, and we have to follow that break schedule. So in order to keep everything together, we have to take the breaks here. So that's what we're going to do now. Just so you know, we'll be right back with more of the Paranormal Portal.
Hey everyone, it's Chris.
there's some audio now. Too many buttons to push. Too many things I must do. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Half hour number 2 is upon us. And Don and I are just kicking back, enjoying this paranormal smorgasbord that we got whipped up for you. Fresh from the portal ovens, every show, something new, a lot different. And we hope you're enjoying it. And hello to everybody that's in the YouTube. Great to see you. Hello to those of you at tfrlive.com/chat. Great to see you as well. Just always fun, isn't it?
It is. It's always fun. And I've really actually missed being here. Well, and not only that, but I've missed Paisley's show for the last couple weeks too. So
Wow.
It's been sucked. So yeah, it's really nice being here.
Well, it's really nice to have you here, and we got a lot of stuff to go through tonight. So I hope you're ready for more of this fun, Don.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, he said.
Buckle up, we're going in.
So hang on, we're going in, dudes. All right. The next one is another Bigfoot sighting. This one is from Animalian. It's from May of last year. Yeah. Oh, okay. I like Bigfoot sightings. I like to see what people are seeing, or to read about what people are seeing, because I think that there's always the opportunity or chance that you're going to hear something new or different that you never heard before, like something they observed. The same reason I love it when you guys send in your stories and stuff is like, I've learned a lot from reading and sharing and talking about your stories. There's always so many things that I have questions rolling around in my head about this paranormal stuff. There's things that I wonder and I think about. If you're familiar with the show, you know that I often postulate those things out loud because I just want to understand it. I want to understand a little more about what this is and what is it. What are the possible ramifications of it? But every time I get a story or talk to one of you call in or you come onto the podcast and are a guest and we have the discussions, I learn something every time. There's like something somebody will say. One of the witnesses observed. It's like, oh, maybe that makes sense, and maybe that's what's going on in there. And
right.
So it always helps me to connect the dots. And of course, we always love firsthand stories anyway. I mean, that's the bread and butter of these kind of shows is talking to those of you out there that have had some pretty incredible experiences. And they're all incredible. I mean, like a lot of people think, well, I've had some weird stuff happen, but nothing really that big.
And then you start telling the stories and it's like, what are you talking about? That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it can be anything. It's like, oh, the light switch turned on over and over, and only when I was talking about this one subject. And it's like, it may not seem big, but it's huge. That stuff is huge because, something happened that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, no doubt. That's not, according to traditional thinking, it's not supposed to happen. Lights don't normally turn themselves on or off or radios or whatever, So I think it's pretty incredible stuff. And I always love hearing new things. So if you've got stories, I'd love to hear from you. And if you got a bunch of stories, let me know because you could be a guest on the podcast. I'd love to talk to you. So this Bigfoot sighting, Don, it's happened. Bigfoot sightings at Pitt Lake, and this is from Animalian.com. Again, in British Columbia, the most frequent Sasquatch sightings are near Port Douglas on Harrison Lake and on the Harrison River in Morris Valley and in the Chehalis. Is this Chehalis? Chehalis? Okay.
Chehalis, yeah.
All right. I know this is your neck of the woods, so that's why I'm asking. Chehalis area. According to legend, the Sasquatch is the enemy of the Chehalis Indians. They've also been sightings at Pitt Lake, and is believed the valley leading through Stave Lake, okay, and to Harrison Lake is a migration route for Sasquatch. Now that's curious because they're saying that they migrate, and I don't know if they do or not. We'll talk a little bit about that after this article, but it says, let me get to this. It's according to documentation, the Sasquatch or Bigfoot is a wild man who stands 7 to 14 feet tall. You don't usually see that in print very much. And weighs 300 to 400 pounds. If it was 14 feet tall and only 400 pounds.
That's like that's like
the Steve Urkel of Sasquatch.
Yeah, throw glasses on him. He just went from Daryl to Urkel.
Get him a sandwich, stat. He says he has hair all over his body except for the pads of his feet and the hands on the face. The hair color can change from black, red, brown, or white. The face looks like a cross between a human and an ape. Excuse me, I got a cough. A Bigfoot's nose is flat and its ears are hidden by long hair. They have long legs and walk upright like a human. Well, they can go quadrupedally as well. But Sasquatch or Bigfoot seems to roam dense forests away from civilization. They are said to make beds out of tree boughs and give off a warning sound similar to that of a monkey, but much louder. It's also reported that they have a distinct smell. They sure do. They sure do. They can light up a room. They can empty a stadium, which has been described as rotten eggs, sulfur, and rotten meat, or rotten meat. There are several reports in the 1850s of Sasquatch sightings at the mouth of Debeck Creek, which runs into the north end of Pitt Lake. And in 1933, 2 men saw Bigfoot at the north end of Pitt Lake grazing on berries. Most Sasquatch sightings are near creeks that run into Pitt Lake. I ran out of air. Did you hear that? I forgot to breathe, Don.
That does help.
Yeah, it does. If you inhale. Before reading stuff, it's amazing what kind of change that is. In 1965, 2 loggers saw Bigfoot tracks and realized they were being watched and managed to make sketches of him before he ran off. Bigfoot harassed loggers in the 1960s at Frenchman's Bay at the north end of Pitt Lake. Sounds like Pitt Lake has really got it going on, huh? At the Wild Duck Inn at Port Coquitlam. Okay. Coquitlam, British Columbia. See, Don's like my translator. In 1970, 9 loggers reported their logging equipment was found turned over. Yeah, that's not normal. In 1972, loggers again at the Wild Duck Inn talked about having their cookhouse pounded with large boulders.
Wow.
So that's kind of like the Ape Canyon deal on Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very similar chain of events.
Similar behaviors, yeah.
Right. That's pretty hardcore. Wow. And in 2001, on a logging road in the Boise Valley leading to Pitt Lake, a man and his wife and 2 dogs heard a weird noise coming from the opposite side of the road. This noise sounded like 2 large rocks being hit together. The strange thing was that the sound repeated itself every 5 to 10 seconds for at least a 10-minute time period.
Wow.
During this time, the dogs had put their tails between their legs and really didn't want to go find out what was making the noise. The man and wife stood up and shouted into the bush to see if someone was there. The hairs on their heads stood up, and they both felt a very strong desire to leave.
Oh.
That's pretty intense. That's like a whole nother almost paranormal type of experience, right?
Well, that depends. You know,
Yeah.
because, well, we'll talk about it when we get
Yeah, yeah. Another account was when 2 men were hiking in Spindle Canyon in search of Slumak's lost gold mine, and they had set up camp for the night. And when they were just starting to fall asleep, they heard a blood-curdling scream and then a series of low, garbled noises. Wow. That sounds like probably the samurai's chatter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, low, garbled noises probably could be what somebody would think of when they were hearing that samurai chatter. They could also smell foul odor that resembled rotten eggs or rotting meat. You ever gotten a rotten egg?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, I was making eggs one time, and this is totally not related. I was making scrambled eggs, and it was the last egg. I was doing like a 6-egg batch.
And you weren't even just looking; you were just cracking them
I
right
was
in,
cracking and going, and my God, I cracked one and was just kind of barely paying attention. And then I looked down, and it was like this weird color, and the smell hit my nose. It was like, oh God, I went on a diet that day. I didn't eat eggs. I did not eat eggs for about a month after that. So they also smelled the foul odor of rotting eggs or rotting meat. At daybreak, they hiked further into the canyon and saw a Sasquatch crouched over a creek catching fish.
Yeah.
The Sasquatch turned around and looked at the men and then ran into the bush. Well, this one's got a little more respect, I guess. A logger who resided at Pitt Lake said he was heading up the lake on his boat early in the morning. And although the waters were calm, he glanced towards the shoreline and saw a series of splashes. The man headed toward shore to see if someone was in trouble, and as he neared the shore, he saw a tree laying in the water and an ape-like man jumping up and down on the tree. As soon as the logger was spied, the ape man quickly headed into the bush. When was this? I'm trying to remember what was the date. It didn't really give a date on that one, did it?
Not on that one, no.
Nope. So on another occasion, a logger was cutting wood outside of his cabin. His dog began to bark, growl, and make crazy movements. The logger looked towards the bush to where the location of where the dog was, staring, and saw an 8-foot creature standing on its hind legs. The creature gave out a loud roar that did not resemble any animal noises he heard by this experienced bushman. It says, based on accounts of Sasquatch and Bigfoot sightings, there seems to be similar reports of their hairy appearance, unique smell, and warning scream. There have been footprints found that don't resemble any other animal in the forest, but they are all similar in description. On the other hand, there's never been a Sasquatch or Bigfoot captured or killed that we know of.
That we know of, yes.
Although Sasquatch and Bigfoot sightings continue to pour in from the Pitt Lake area, the mystery has not yet been solved. That's an interesting sounding place. I don't know what the area looks like now compared to the the 70s and stuff, but that's pretty wild.
Well, there was one or two that were like 2001, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Was there?
Oh, right.
1850s, 2001.
Mhm.
Boise Valley leading to Pitt Lake. A man and his wife and 2 dogs heard a weird noise. Yeah. So, what was I going to talk about? There was something that.
Well, I wanted to mention you mentioned the paranormal part of it,
Yes.
where they got this feeling to just get up and leave. I was wondering
Yes.
if that might have been like more like infrasound kind of thing. They really didn't hear it, but they felt it because that sound is just below your hearing, but it's got that deep resonance in it that just says "Get out."
That's
so,
interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Oddly enough, that didn't occur to me, but I'll bet
Really?
you you're right. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like a energy kind of thing, but yeah, now that you say that, it's like, yeah, probably. Because, it's widely believed that Bigfoot use infrasound. And if you're new to the Bigfoot discussion, it's just a very low sound that they're able to emanate, it's believed.
Right.
And people that experience that talk about those feelings of feeling like just discombobulated and almost like stunned. And there are examples in nature of several other creatures that do that. And it essentially allows them, in like the case of the tiger, to kind of disorient their prey as they're going to attack. And yeah, I think if you're getting infrasounded, that's a real bad thing. There's many reports of that, people seeing them. There was a story of a woman who went out on her back porch to let her dogs out and stuff, and had just come across this Bigfoot standing there with a little one. And I think it was with a little one, but it was at least one. And it was pretty big sized, and she said she was frozen. She couldn't move. Like she was frozen in place.
Right.
And I bet, that again probably was that infrasound. It just screws everything up. It's just really intense.
Right. And it's gonna translate differently to people because they have. I think that really kind of affects their memory. It's like, okay, I felt this before and it meant go away, or
Right.
I felt this before and I got sick, or I felt like this one time and I lost my coordination, inner ear equilibrium kind of stuff.
Yes.
So
Yep.
they have different. They affect people differently.
Sure.
But they all mean the same thing. Get out. So
Get out. Yeah, it's very interesting. But again, the smell is. I'm pretty sure that the smell is some kind of glandular thing, and I used to have for instance, and I know this is a total different class of being, but I used to have a California king snake, and you could pick up the snake and it would be fine. But if you did any jerky motions with it, like reached in and just grabbed it,
Right.
it would squeeze out this musky, stinky stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, it was just a defense mechanism, but it was horrid. It was just this rancid smelling stuff.
Well, that's from California.
Oh, God. My apologies to any listeners in California. but-
Cha-Cha's going to come find me now.
That's right. But, I really believe that they must have this gland because many people have encountered Sasquatch and not been confronted by any horrible smell at all. I mean, just maybe a bit of a wild smell, but nothing repulsive.
Right.
But the people that smell this smell, they are directly affected by it. Like it's horrid. They want to throw up because like instantly inspires the gag reflex.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't want to be around it. They don't want anything to do with it. It's just one of those things, like a skunk. Very much like a skunk.
Like California.
And that's, I'm sure, Jesus, you're just gonna sink our California audience. So, that is. I'm pretty sure a defense mechanism, and maybe it's only by the females or something. I don't know. If the male isn't close, maybe they do that. Maybe the males do it too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that might be. Maybe it is a female thing. A female Squatch thing. And
Right.
And the males just come and
they just beat stuff into pudding,
as reported by our friend Dean Harrison.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They will knock you down. But it does seem to be an interesting thing. Very many people have experienced the smell. Very many people have not. So it seems to be something they can utilize or not,
Right.
very defensively. And I'm sure that's why they call them the skunk ape in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
The skunk apes. But an interesting rundown of that region. I wasn't aware of any of these, but that's a hell of a history for that area.
Yeah, no doubt.
In
That's
BC.
a long history.
Yeah, that's a whole
Definitely
chain of
That's-
events.
That's
I guess.
kinda cool.
I guess in terms of Idaho,
Uh-huh.
Bonner County is the most.
Yeah, apparently so.
There's the most Bigfoot sightings in this county.
Well, we're only 35 miles from the border. Well, maybe 40. 40.
Yeah.
But, it's not that far.
No, it's not. And north of us, is that British Columbia, right north of us? Or is that more towards the coast?
No, let me look it up. I have to admit that I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
So let me look it up.
We're going to look that up, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we are literally almost a stone's throw from Canada. So we're up in the very rugged mountainous regions up here. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, except for not so much now because there's a haze of forest fire smoke all over us.
Oh, yeah, from California.
Is that where the smoke's coming from?
Well, we have the fires west of us where
Oregon?
Cindy is.
Yeah.
Well, no, Cindy.
Oh, in Blanchard.
Yeah,
eh?
Blanchard, just over the hill on Blanchard.
Yeah.
So we do have that. But some of this I believe is being blamed on California. It's not my fault. I'm not the one reporting the news. I'm just reporting what I know.
Gotcha.
Or what I understand.
So out of California, we're getting their smoke.
Yeah.
That's weird. You'd think we would get the Oregon stuff before we got that California stuff. But
Well, the California's been burning longer.
oh, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that stuff it's horrible because, these woodlands around here are absolutely beautiful and pristine, and these forests are amazing. If you think of, what was that show with that Mick Dodge
Yeah, that's actually a peninsula.
right over on Washington.
Yeah,
right?
the Olympic Peninsula.
Yeah, in the Olympic Peninsula. But Mick Dodge did like this wild man kind of show on one of the networks, and if you watch the show, the forests are just amazingly beautiful, and that's what these forests are like even here. They're just that same lush, pristine, beautiful forests, and to think of them just going up in smoke is just a heartbreaker.
Right.
And it doesn't help. We've had a hell of a dry spell for a while now.
Right.
But yeah.
It is BC. It is British Columbia.
Right north of us.
Right,
Okay.
just north of us. The Regional District of Central Kootenay.
Oh, really?
So RDCK is the regional district and province of British Columbia. So it
Okay.
is British Columbia. Nelson is our sister city, and I know some people from Castlegar. Actually, I know some people from a lot of places up there.
Cool.
I've been told by Canadians that I'm actually a Canadian, not an American.
You're part Canadian,
I've
you're part
also been-
American, you're part Australian.
Apparently, I'm part Australian too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome.
You're kind of a global thing, Don.
kind of I get around.
I just got to look here. 6 minutes left, so I think I'm going to get into this article. Okay. On the other side, there's a shorter ones that we can get into, but I do want to talk about it. We're going to get into a discussion of the Minnesota Iceman, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're not familiar with that, it's basically I don't know. It was shown in like the carnival circuit, but it was the story of a man from Minnesota on his acreage. He saw this ape man and started taking rounds and shooting it, and allegedly did bring it down. Apparently, he shot it through the hand and eye on one shot, and then a couple other shots, and it went down. And it was if it was legitimate, it was most likely a juvenile Bigfoot,
Right.
Because it wasn't really extraordinarily big. But I Now, I think it was Lloyd Pye that talked about seeing that when he was young and marveling at how amazingly realistic it was, and how he didn't believe it was a fake because of, just the way it was put together, seeing the pores on the skin, seeing all of that stuff through that, that block of ice. There's a lot of controversy around it. We're not going to get into all the controversy. Truth be known, it's, there's people, or there's a version of it that's been proven to be a hoax, but there are people that are saying that's not the actual original. It was a reproduction that was made. The original might have been grabbed. I don't know. I mean, it's all that weird cloak and dagger stuff around the Bigfoot community that I don't know what to do with, and I don't know how to find the truth out about that. But I do know a guy that says he does know, and the man that has the original one now.
Oh.
And I don't know if it's truth or not. I don't know much about it. I can't get any information because apparently the person that owns it now does not want to be acknowledged, does not want to be a part of the discussion.
Then why have it?
Well, I don't know. Some people
Selfish
collect things.
people.
I don't know. Maybe the original was actually stolen and he's got the stolen one. Who knows? But,
now he's just mad because he paid so much for it.
yeah, exactly.
Can't believe I paid $1 million for that.
Well, it's like if you had a stolen Picasso in your house.
Oh, that's true.
It's like you might have paid a lot of money for it, but you can't go broadcasting
yeah,
it.
exactly.
So I don't know, and I'm not trying to make allegations like that. I just don't know, but I just that is what I do know, and that was what was shared with me. So now we're going to get into that discussion on the other side, at least about this, and it's the real Bigfoot corpse or what was the Minnesota Iceman. So we'll see what this article has to say about it. I'm kind of curious because I have not pre-read it, but essentially this made the rounds and was shown all over in the fairs and carnivals as more of a sideshow, one of the sideshow things. So it does right off the bat come off like it might have been just a clever hoax, because those sideshows are full of clever hoaxes, things that are weird and strange, and some of them are just, people that have, they were born different and they're willing to showcase their difference for, paying customers. But in a case like this, is it actually a juvenile Bigfoot that was shot? I hope not. I really hope not. But anyway, we'll get into that on the other side. Again, I was going to try to whip through one of the shorter ones here. There's one that I found interesting. I think I can get through this one. And this is mystery. This is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. And it is mystery as lone python suddenly lays eggs. It says an elderly female snake that hasn't been near a male in 15 years has inexplicably laid a clutch of eggs. The python, which at 62 years of age is believed to be the oldest known snake in captivity, resides at the St. Louis Zoo, where she has remained in isolation from other snakes for well over a decade. Out of the 7 eggs, 3 have been placed in an incubator, and 2 have been used for genetic sampling, and the other 2 did not survive. It's estimated that the surviving eggs could hatch within a month. Exactly how the snake ended up laying eggs despite its isolation isn't clear. However, it's not unheard of for pythons to reproduce asexually. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Or to store sperm for long periods of time. Wow. It's hoped that the genetic sampling will reveal which one of the 2 possibilities is most likely. One of the things for certain, the python, which is known only as 361003, is the oldest snake in record ever to have laid eggs, making her a record breaker one way or the other. So this, I did not know that it was common or has been known to happen that they can reproduce asexually, but that's still really weird. How long, if they can store the sperm, how long can that stuff stay alive?
Wow, yeah, that's a good question. But then again, we do have, frogs that can change sex.
Sure.
So,
sure.
I mean, if
and people, Don. I'm just kidding. I'm not meaning to be all disrespectful. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But no, I mean, people do that as well. But it takes the intervention of the medical profession to make that happen, whereas this is actually natural. So that's very interesting. Just saying. Anyway, let's see where we got. We got that down to a minute. What do you want to say for a minute, Don?
What do I want to say for a minute?
Yeah, you got a minute to work with here.
Duke says 361. What a pretty girl name. But then again, he's into reptiles.
Yeah, that's true. He's got the bearded dragon and
Yeah.
stuff. So, which is a cool little pet. That was neat.
Yeah, sushi.
Sushi, that's
Yeah.
right. Named Sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's what I have to say for a minute.
That didn't take a minute though, Don, but it
Well,
took close enough. So,
there you
ladies and
go.
gentlemen, we're going to go to the hour break here. Don't go away. Again, we will be right back after a couple minutes. It's time to pay the bills and play the commercials on the network. So, those of you in our YouTube audience will have some musical stylings of me and some videos to go through. So, hope you enjoy it, and we will be right back in just a moment. Whoa, was that
Good
awesome?
timing.
That was,
was
oh my
nice.
God, that was impeccable.
That was dope.
dope.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. But I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid toy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking gas. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not wrong yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet.
A nightmare from which they cannot wake. I can't see you, Mommy. Where are you? I've never sensed anything like it. not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that's different from themselves. Her life force is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeist are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
And hour number 2 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. It goes so fast. But we are here and back at it. Hour number 2. We got one full hour of fun left to go. And so far, it's going good. The sound is actually pretty decent tonight. Just a slight hiss, but we do have a phone call here.
Oh.
So we should get to the phone call. And this is area code 845. You're on the air.
Huh. Hello, caller?
Oh, I didn't unmute it.
Oh.
I thought I did. I clicked it.
Click that button.
845, you're on the air. Let's try that again.
Now we got it. Hello, Brent and Don. How are you guys? It's Carlton.
Doing good, Carlton. Doing good.
Doing fine. What's going on tonight, brother?
Oh, not too much. Just wanted to make a quick comment along. I don't know too much about snakes, but I do find it interesting about honeybees. A honeybee queen goes out in the early part of her life, and she mates with multiple drones. Well, she can mate with one, but often she mates with multiple drones. And when she goes back to the nest, she can select which drone's sperm she wants to use to lay eggs with. So she can actually change the genetics of the colony at her direction.
Wow.
So just an interesting comment along the lines of the snake who apparently didn't have any friends but could still do the thing.
Yeah, to do the thing. No, that's interesting. I had no idea. And that's so incredible because it seems to imply an awareness, of incredible proportions, to just, I don't understand how that works. How could that possibly work? But and yet nature does it,
Yeah, it's mind blowing. And it suggests incredible, awareness and consciousness of not only your own self and outside of you, but also like being able to select like different genetics based on what you want to gear the hive toward. That's just, it's mind blowing when you think about it.
That's way mind blowing. Wow, I had no idea, but I can now say I've learned something new today. Actually, I learned that pythons can asexually reproduce, and that queen bees can, just have the
pick and choose.
Yeah, they got like the sperm fountain. So I'm gonna mix a little of this.
Well, there you go. So that's 2 in one day. So you can take tomorrow off from learning if you want.
That sounds good to me. I'd like a little break. But yeah, brother, thanks. I appreciate that. I had no idea, but I'm. That really raises more questions than answers, but it's incredible.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Anyway, carry on. Great show as usual, gentlemen.
All right,
thanks,
brother.
bud.
See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I guess nature is just full of tricks that we can't even begin to understand.
That's right.
That is intense. That is very intense.
Do you want to know something that I heard?
Sure, why not?
And I don't remember where I heard this, but apparently a woman can get pregnant consecutively while pregnant.
What?
Yeah. Apparently it's possible to happen. So if you're already pregnant, if you're a female and you're already pregnant, you can possibly get pregnant concurrently.
You could have two different staged embryos developing?
Apparently so.
Oh, dear God.
I hear it, from what I understand, it's really, really rare, but it can happen.
No, I didn't know that. I guess, oh, wow. I think I would feel so bad for that mother. It's like, nope, you're not done. You can get that one out, and we got another one to go in a few months. Oh, Lord. That would be horrible.
Yeah, it would be horrible. Carlton says, yes, it's true.
Oh, God. Wow. No, I'd never
It
heard of
doesn't
that.
usually go well, though. No, I would imagine not. Wow.
See, the big one always takes the lunch money of the little one.
Give me your lunch money, you little square, and I'll kick your ass butt out
Starts
of here.
pinching their babies, their little siblings' umbilical cord. Oh, yeah. Who's the boss? Who's the boss?
Who's your daddy?
Oh, God. Well, we're not... we're gonna go.
We switched straight into biology.
We're gonna. Yeah, well, that's
Wow.
the portal for you for sure.
Wow.
That's why we don't try to script shows, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great example of why we don't even bother. It just writes itself, just like that. Let's go to the Minnesota Iceman though and see what this article has to say. I'll put it up on screen. Actually, I'll put it in TFR chat as well because Bam's in there. And
Bam. Hey, Bam.
hey, Bam, how you doing, brother? All right, paste. And he says, promiscuous queen bee. It can and does happen. I've seen it. Doesn't go well at all. Oh, well, that's interesting. I've just learned about this today. That's three new things
That's three
today.
things.
I might be good for all next week too. There's too much going in my head tonight.
Wow.
Very strange. I didn't have any clue that this was so incredibly intricate. Wow. Okay, so this is the story of is it a real Bigfoot corpse or what was the Minnesota Iceman?
Oh, I thought you were going to say
I know,
a
Anubis.
lovely lady.
Oh no. No.
Anyhow, sorry. Go
All
ahead.
right. In 1968, University of Minnesota zoology major Terry Cullen contacted Ivan Sanderson to tell him about a seemingly authentic Sasquatch corpse that had made the carnival circuit with owner Frank Hansen. Hi, Anubis. What's the plan here, buddy? Come on. Coming up. Okay, there we go. So let's see what it says. Hansen had charged people a small fee to view the Iceman in his glass coffin, encased in a block of ice. Yeah, we're not going to walk up there, though, little man. You can stay here, though. Minnesota Iceman or on exhibit. Hansen traveled the U.S. sideshow circuit to exhibit the so-called missing link. He told various tales where the Iceman came from, but the essence of the story... Do you hear that purring?
No.
He put his mouth right up to my chin. Oh, you little fluffy boy. He says, let me repeat that because I'm distracted. Here, Hansen traveled the U.S. sideshow circuit to exhibit the so-called missing link. He told various tales of where the Iceman had come from, but the essence of the story was that a crew of either Russian or Japanese fishermen discovered the body off of the coast of Siberia, where he was frozen in a block of ice. That's a whole different story than the one I heard. From Asia, the corpse made its way to Hong Kong and was purchased by an anonymous U.S. oil magnate who rented the body to Hansen so it could be displayed to carnival visitors. Heuvelmans and Sanderson drove to Hansen's farm to view the body, and they would spend several days studying, photographing, and making sketches of the creature. Hansen refused their request to open the lid, but Heuvelmans accidentally shattered the glass, and a putrid stench emanated from the coffin. The cryptozoologist discovered that the corpse had ostensibly been shot through the eye and theorized that he was murdered. So it was somehow preserved in that. And then, okay, both men believed the corpse was authentic and were convinced he was a Neanderthal man, Sasquatch, or some related creature. Heuvelman wrote a paper about the Iceman for the Institute of Natural Sciences in Belgium titled Preliminary Note on a Specimen Preserved in Ice. Unknown Living Hominid. Sanderson wrote an article, Living Fossil for Argos. And it says the Smithsonian got involved when Sanderson approached Dr. John Napier, curator of primates, to scientifically examine the corpse. The FBI was asked to investigate because of the murder theory. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover declined because he said no law was violated since the beast wasn't human. The Smithsonian declined to study the corpse because it appeared to be a hoax. Sanderson and Heuvelmans backed off from their initial pronouncement that the body was genuine. However, Ball's Hollywood special effects firm claimed that they had made the Iceman in 1967, and Ball and his son made prehistoric figures for Disneyland. They fashioned the fake corpse from rubber to make it look like the Cro-Magnon man with a broken skull and one eye popping out. Hansen did admit that Ball made the Iceman for him, but said he threw it away. The Iceman was removed from exhibition. I don't know. That's not very well written. Sanderson investigated the claims of having the creature duplicated by movie prop artists, and he discovered 3 California companies manufactured rubber Iceman for Hansen in as early as 1967. Sanderson died in 1973 and remained convinced that what he and Heuvelmans examined was actually genuine. In 1995 interview, Hansen said that he was afraid of traveling with the Iceman because it was valuable and the liability in case of an accident posed too great a risk. He took the real frozen corpse to some friends in the film industry for them to create a replica of the body. It was a model that was put on display, and later he claimed that the bullet wound where he had been shot, the Iceman, while he was hunting in Minnesota. The bullet wound was where he had shot the Iceman. There's the story that I had heard. Hunting in Minnesota. Logic dictates that there was no millionaire owner and no genuine corpse. Hansen's story kept on changing. It makes sense that the Iceman was a film prop from the beginning. What about the putrid stench? It wouldn't have been out of character for a carnival con artist to put rotting meat in the coffin just in case the glass was broken. I guess that's possible. But many people that did look at that in there, including Lloyd Pye, said no, that was real. What he saw, he claims he was convinced was real. I don't know. I don't really have a horse in the game here as far as that's concerned. So if it's real or not, I don't know. But it seems like a pretty wild claim. I don't know who would ever get the idea. Hey, let's put this Sasquatch, small Sasquatch, in a case, mold it, and make it look like it was shot.
Yeah, especially in the eyes.
Yeah, I mean it's very specific. So that's what leads me to believe maybe it was real because. I mean, how would you come up with that for an idea? Let's just have it shot in the eye, and have an other eye popping out, and I don't know. It just seems to me like that would be unlikely if they were going to make a frozen thing for display. It would be like found in a glacier somewhere, or
right.
Or found in the Arctic or the tundra, and it would be a pristine corpse. It wouldn't have bullet holes in it. I don't know. Maybe though. I guess, again, I don't really have a horse in the game, but I think it's to me, it doesn't really make sense that they would make something and have it with bullet holes in it. They would make it and look more like a pristine specimen.
Right. Yeah.
Would be my guess. But anyway, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit about the Minnesota Iceman. There's a lot out there about this topic. This is a very general article that covers a few things that I really didn't know before, so I love that. But I'd never heard the story of it being from, overseas.
Right. As a matter of fact, Duke said just before we went to break when you mentioned it, he said something about it was actually shot in Vietnam and then sent back.
Oh, like the rock apes over in Vietnam that the U.S. servicemen were always talking about? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so it was actually, that's where it came from. So there you go.
Interesting. That that was maybe it was smuggled from there over here for whatever case, which would be probably criminal.
They did a raid O'Reilly on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
people don't even know what he did in that show. That's funny.
He would always hear the helicopters coming. But he was the clerk, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, but he sent an entire Jeep back piece by piece to his house through the whole show. He was sending pieces of a Jeep back to his home. So when he got home, he had a Jeep and he rebuilt it.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, people didn't know that.
But he was in the Korean War.
That's true.
Yeah, MASH was the
That's
Korean
not the
War.
point.
But that is interesting. That was actually a practice, apparently, by a lot of service members.
No doubt.
I've heard of machine guns that were imported over piece by piece.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
just a piece of it's not illegal.
Yeah, exactly. But as you assemble it, boom, you've got a crime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Minnesota Iceman. So if you're not familiar with it, definitely look it up. It's a very curious tale. Again, there's a lot of people that saw it that swear that was real. They were convinced it was so incredibly well done. If it was a fake,
Right.
that it really fooled pretty much everybody that saw it. However, I did hear that one of the replicas of it was still floating around even in more recent times, and people were like, "No, this is obviously a fake." What was that guy's name? Was it Rick Dyer? Didn't he go around with a rubber? He was charging people money to see the real Sasquatch body, and it was obviously a rubber fake or something to that effect. I don't know. There's obviously been several hoaxers out there trying to make money doing just this, but the Minnesota Iceman, to my knowledge, was the first. If it was indeed a hoax, and if it was real, it's, either way, it's kind of disturbing. No matter how you cut it, but very cool, huh?
Yes.
Did you know much about the Minnesota Iceman?
You know, I actually don't. I don't know anything about it until you started really, talking about it.
There you go. Well, that's what we do here. Now we're going to get into another different kind of strangeness. It is creature stuff, though. It's creature stuff we're covering here tonight, mostly anyway, so far. We've got a little bit of
Yeah.
UFO stuff coming up here, but
Rick Dyer
yeah.
bought the Minnesota Iceman. Update. Recently, the Minnesota Iceman came up for sale. Okay, so recently, this is from February of 2013.
Okay.
Came up for sale on eBay. It was sold by eBay user Haunted Armada, allegedly for the price of $20,000. So who bought the body? Rumor has it that none other than Rick Dyer, or someone closely related to Mr. Dyer, did it. The sale ended on the February 20th. It was confirmed that Rick was in St. Paul the very next day. The timing's odd, to say the least.
Oh, sure.
Went from Vegas to there. And they actually show a picture of the eBay auction page.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, genuine Minnesota Iceman Sideshow Bigfoot 1960s was the title of the sale.
Okay.
There's a few pictures. Yeah, it looks like the one that I've seen in the Iceman pictures before.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was just one of the
molds.
One of the molds. Yeah, it
Yep.
says. So I'm not familiar with it. Asked Rick about the rumor and waiting his response. It seems that Muskie Allen was also in the area a short time before Rick was. On February 14th, Muskie was in Stillwater, Minnesota, a short distance from St. Paul. What does this mean? I don't know. I'll have to look up who Muskie Allen is. According to the Post, Bigfoot Wars, Muskie's trip was planned well before the Iceman was put up for sale. Huh, interesting.
That is interesting. Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The intrigue continues. There's well, that's not who I don't know the person's name that's alleged to have the real one now, but I have heard that it's out there. So whatever that means, I don't know. Maybe there was a bunch of these things made and just for $20,000 a pop, that's pretty good business, I think, if you make Minnesota ice pins. So it seems like a pretty good lucrative business. But anyway, let's continue here. The next weirdness that we're going to cover has to do with another kind of cryptid of a sort, the winged kind. And by that, I mean the Thunderbird. Thunderbird, ladies and gentlemen.
Thunderbird.
Now, this picture that they're showcasing here always intrigued me.
Yeah.
That's, there's a picture that shows one man in front of what looks like an enormous crow.
Yep.
That must be about 12 or 15 feet tall, from the tip of the tail to the tip of the beak.
Right.
And then the wingspan is even bigger. It looks like it must be about a 20-some foot wingspan. It looks really impressive. But that's to those of you on YouTube. For those of you that are not on YouTube, I guess I could send you a link so that you can see it. Because we're all inclusive here on the portal. Don't want to leave anybody out. Bam, we're going to send you this link. And you can check it out at your leisure. Let's see. All right, so back to the story. The Thunderbird, unidentified mysterious bird. Again, from animalien.com. There have been many reports of Thunderbirds in the United States, and at least one terrifying encounter. What might this strange winged creature be? Let's see. Cryptids are also unidentified mysterious animals, UMAs. No,
UMAs.
UMAs. Are you serious? It's just what we needed. I need another
Mysterious
acronym.
Animals.
I need
Oh,
another
that's good.
acronym.
Wow.
UMAs, Don.
UMAs.
God.
Sounds like another poor choice for music awards.
Or some UFO group.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have been sighted by many people. Some, like the coelacanth, a fish that were believed to be extinct until the first one was caught. Were you serious, Anubis? Okay. Others, like the African herbivorous okapi, were thought to be a mythological until it was discovered around 1900. Others, like Sasquatch, have been sighted, but not captured or killed. Unless you think the Minnesota Iceman might have been real. The Thunderbird belongs in at least in the last category in the field of cryptozoology. Native tribes all across North America, especially along the Pacific coast and in the Great Lakes area, have stories depicting enormous birds of prey. Some stories told that these birds were so large and powerful that when they flapped their wings, thunder was created. That's kind of cool. Lightning flashed out of their eyes, and water fell off their backs, creating rain. The tribes used thunderbirds to explain some of the things that happen naturally, such as storms or other forms of weather.
Gosh darn it.
Oh, did he get up? Other forms of weather. The legend of the Passamaquoddies, Quoddies, for example, describes the quest of two Native Americans in search of the source of thunder high in the mountains. Other stories said that there was a thunderbird who battled an enormous killer whale. When the two beasts fought, they destroyed much of the land, knocking down trees and causing much destruction. Although dangerous and powerful beings, thunderbirds were also seen as benevolent nature spirits, and they sometimes assisted the tribes in their search for food during periods of famine. The igneous rocks known as thunderstones are the eggs of these creatures, according to some legends. The majority of the sightings are in the Black Forest of Pennsylvania, Illinois, okay, and the Ozarks. Oh, okay, so that's 3 regions. I was like, where's Pennsylvania, Illinois?
There are commas.
Yeah, there are. Okay. That's what those little things are.
Yeah.
The Thunderbird's wingspan ranges from 15 to 20 feet, and it is about 4 to 8 feet tall and dark in color. Unless noted, these sightings were in Pennsylvania. In 1948, many people saw a large bird resembling a condor near the Illinois-Missouri border. In 1969, Clinton County Sheriff's wife, Mrs. John Boyle, saw one while she was sitting on her porch in Little Pine Creek. 3 men saw a thunderbird carrying a fawn near Kettle Creek. In 1970, several people saw a thunderbird in Jersey Shore. In 1973, Robert Lyman, one in Coudersport. Is that right? Coudersport, yeah. It was sitting on a road and then flew into the dense forest. He judged the wingspan to be approximately 20 feet. God, that's huge.
Wow.
1975, Walnut Creek, California residents saw a bird over 5 feet tall with a vulture-like head and gray wings. In nearby East Bay, people saw it or one like it sitting on a roof. In 1977, in Lawndale, Illinois, 10-year-old Marion Lowe and 2 friends were playing when they saw 2 huge birds. One boy jumped in a pool to avoid them, and Marlon was seized by one of the birds and lifted 2 feet off the ground.
Wow.
His parents and 2 of their friends heard him scream and ran after the bird. The bird dropped him after traveling 40 feet. That's got to be scary. They said the bird resembled a condor. A woman in Armington saw a similar or same bird 3 days later. 6 people in McLean County had the same experience. And the following morning, between Armington and Delavan, James Majors watched 2 huge birds. One grabbed a 40 or 50-pound pig and flew away.
Wow.
The next month, John and Wanda Chappell observed one for 5 minutes and documented the sighting. It was 4 feet high, and the estimated wingspan was 10 to 14 feet. Is it possible that a prehistoric bird exists in America? The two most likely candidates for the Thunderbird from descriptions are the teratorn and the pterodactyl, large predatory birds. Teratorns' wingspans could reach 25 feet or more, pterodactyls over 40 feet. It's believed that they resembled a giant condor. Could they have survived and be the Thunderbird? Or is the Thunderbird a different unknown species?
A UMA.
It's a UMA. God, another acronym. Get out of it.
Oh yeah.
Thunderbird sightings started many centuries ago with the natives here. Yeah, you're right, Bam. Bam says that in the TFR chat. Yeah, they are. I mean, it's a part of the cultures. Many native cultures.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is really cool. It's not a new thing, but there's the break. So we're going to go to break, ladies and gentlemen. 1/2 hour remaining of the Paranormal Portal. So we'll meet you right back here in a couple minutes. Don't go away.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Last half hour of our show tonight. We've got a little bit of a waterfall going on here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call us. I'm going to call us, Don.
Yeah. Call us.
Call.
Call me. Call me.
I'm calling our studio line, and I'm going to talk to us.
Call me any time. Call me.
Okay, Blondie. All right. Is this working?
It's working.
There we go. All right. We're done. That's it. It sounds quieter. There's something about that. I don't know what it is, but it's only on network nights, so I don't know.
Well,
I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure why it does that.
I'm not sure. All right, so we got a lot more strangeness to get through. We're running out of show, believe it or not. It's been going so fast.
I know, huh?
It has, right?
Yep.
It ain't just me, is it, Don?
Really says, at least it wasn't a Viagra commercial.
Well, we could probably whip you one up. No, we haven't had a Viagra commercial on the network yet that I'm aware of. Currently, that's not an issue here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying. All right, let's continue on. What was I gonna do, Don? What was I gonna do?
We were talking about you were giant snake. Already did that one.
No, that's a different one.
That's a doe.
That's a different one. Another. It's not really cryptid, but it's kind of creepy.
It's
and
creepy.
I pulled it up because it was creepy.
Creepy cryptids and such.
Creepy cryptids.
And more. There
and
you
I think
go.
this is Australia.
Well, we could start talking about serpent people. Reptilian
Oh yeah,
people.
let's get into that in the last half hour. Probably not. We probably have to do a whole show about that. But let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. And this is another article from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is 2 giant snakes crashed through man's ceiling. How'd you like that, Don?
That would be creepy.
Retiree David Tate, who lives near Brisbane, Australia, played host to 2 unexpected visitors on Monday, and this is from September 3rd of this year.
Oh.
It sounds like the stuff of nightmares, but for David Tate this week, the nightmare scenario became a reality when 2 massive carpet snakes, I'm not even sure what a carpet snake is, but that's what it says, which had been presumably fighting over a female, came tumbling into his kitchen floor through a large hole in the ceiling. According to snake catcher Steve Brown, the 2 serpents, which measured 2.8 and 2.5 meters long.
Wow.
That's not really as big as it sounds.
Well, that's like 8-9 feet.
I know, but it's not like, you're not like those big, pythons that are like, basketball in diameter. They're probably, a little bigger than the fist in diameter. Were among the largest he had ever seen in the region. Fortunately, both were successfully captured and taken to a nearby forest to be released. However, no female snake was found. Oh no, your problems are not over. Suggesting it may still be loose in the house somewhere.
Oh.
We have a lot of bush around here, so you do see snakes. Now, I'm wondering, are these venomous or what the hell are they?
They are a type of python.
Oh, okay, said Tate. But I'd never seen snakes of that size.
Said Dawn.
Huh?
Dawn said they were a type of python.
Oh, you just made that up? Oh,
No, it really says they're a type of python.
Okay, all right.
But I said they're a type of python, and you went said so and so. It's like,
oh, well, yeah, I'm just
Dawn
reading
said
the article. Tate is the person that's talking here.
Great.
But I'd never seen snakes of that size. For Brown, this time of the year is particularly busy for snake catchers in Australia. And with the pandemic as well, more people than ever have been finding them at their homes.
I bet.
Because people are home and they're not out and about. We've got a perfect storm where people will see more snakes, he said. So there you go.
Wow.
There's an included video, fattest snakes ever. Oh man, you ever see those videos of those anacondas though that are like almost as big around as the canoes?
They, like the guy who was supposed to get eaten by the snake. That was an anaconda.
Was supposed to? What do you mean?
Yeah, he was all geared up and he was supposed to. I'm going to be eaten alive by a snake.
Oh, what a stupid thing. Did he die?
You talked about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I remember it vaguely, but I can't remember. Did he die?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he actually got it done.
Yeah, that's about the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard of.
You know, but they get you in there, and they crush the bones of goats. They they swallow them and then they crush them.
Yeah, well, they're crushed in the constriction. I mean, those things are all cords of muscle, and they can smash
It tastes
bones.
good smoked.
You've had smoked snake?
Yeah, not smoked, but definitely grilled. Definitely grilled.
You have eaten that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's another of Don's stories of the grill. Don's tales of the grill.
So last night so I got home last night and got on Paisley's show and talked about a pancetta wrapped avocado with it just went off, and so now it's heathen cooking with Don Longbeard or something like that.
Yeah. You have a tendency to end up around food sometimes.
I don't know how that happens.
I don't either. It's a gift, I guess. But speaking of strange and enormous creatures, I got another one from Australia.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, and we're going to read about this one. And again, this isn't really paranormal, but when you consider the size, it's kind of paranormal. And this is a gargantuan crocodile captured in Australia.
Australia.
A saltwater croc weighing in at over 770 pounds has been caught in a river at an Australian tourist hotspot. Oh my gosh. How many people went missing before they found that deal?
No doubt.
The enormous reptile, which measures 14 and a half feet long, was discovered in the Flora River around 75 miles southwest of the town of Katherine in Australia's Northern Territory. According to wildlife ranger John Burke, it's the largest crocodile found in that area in many years. The tourists walked down by the river in the area where he was, he said. And with the weather warming up, the crocs are becoming active. They're moving into breeding season as well, and the rivers are low, and they're out looking for mates, particularly the big males. Yeah, big males tend to do that, no matter what the species. There's been a significant increase in the number of wild crocodiles in the region over the last few decades, thanks to a law made in the 1970s to grant them protected species status. They certainly are increasing in number, and that's part of the reason we have the management zones to reduce the numbers of high visitation areas. So there's less chance of interaction between salties and people. A particular monster, however, will be just fine, according to reports. It'll be taken to a crocodile farm where it'll be used as breeding stock. Hopefully it'll be a little croc resort there, and he'll have a new girlfriend, said Burke.
How many eggs can they lay?
I don't know. It's not. I know that. Of course, the survivability is the big deal.
Right.
Like I think they lay a bunch of eggs, but most often most of the babies are eaten and stuff by other things.
Yeah.
So not too many make it into adulthood. Kind of like the turtles and stuff.
Right.
Where they're like going towards the the water, and birds and other things, fox are coming and picking them off. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the big thing. But that sounded big. But there was one captured in the Philippines that was freaking enormous. It was like 20 some feet.
I think the modern record for some reason, I think the modern record is like just like 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like the modern record. There have been reports of close to 35 feet.
Wow.
But those are the old stories because
Sure.
those ones are the ones that stick out the most and usually get caught first.
Right.
So that size has been slowly coming down because of predation.
Right, exactly. That's probably true. And, hunters as well. There's a lot of people hunting crocs and gators.
Yeah,
now, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever fancied yourself starting to head out into space and working towards colonizing the universe and stuff, just be warned. I wanted to bring this to the attention of our audience as as public service and message.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Elon Musk says it's a good chance that the first Mars settlers will die. So if you ever get an invitation to be one of the first people to touch ground on Mars, Just wait.
Yeah. I'll wait for the next one. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. No, you know, I'm busy. I got it. My nails are getting done. It's not going to work out this time, but I'll catch the next one. Yeah, the first settlers will likely die, according to Elon Musk. Well, that's hardly an incentive, but as work on Elon Musk's prototype Starship continues, the SpaceX CEO has highlighted the dangers of going to Mars. This week, Starship's SN6, a prototype version of the ambitious spacecraft that Musk hopes will one day carry the first colonist to Mars, completed a successful test flight which involved hopping approximately 150 meters from one pad to another at SpaceX's Boca Chica facility.
Oh, okay.
The flight was an improvement over a previous test flight, which took place just weeks before. It's certainly no secret that Musk has some seriously ambitious plans for the future that involve not just landing humans on Mars, but building up an entire colony living independently of the Earth. Even he, however, admits that such a feat will be very difficult and very dangerous. Getting to Mars, I think, is not the fundamental issue. He said via CNBC, the fundamental issue is building a base, building a city on Mars that is self-sustaining. We're going to build a propellant plant and an initial Mars base Alpha, and then get it to the point where it's self-sustaining. I want to emphasize that this is a very hard and dangerous, difficult thing, not for the faint of heart. Good chance you'll die. Boy, I didn't see that in the brochure. It's going to be tough going, for it'll be pretty glorious if it works out. If it works out.
It'd be pretty glorious if it did, apparently.
Yeah, it'd be pretty glorious if it doesn't.
Glory all over.
Thank you. The timetable for the first manned mission to Mars still remains up in the air, with the date having already been pushed back considerably and with no clear target set at the present time.
It's up in the air for the target date.
I know, it's a little punny, huh?
Yeah.
Still, given Musk's past successes
Excuse me.
in the space sector, it's not outside the realms of possibility that he will eventually succeed in ushering humanity onto its next major step before the stars. So don't be on the first ones. I'd wait till they got things figured out there before you jump on a ship and head to Mars. I think that would be just amazing to, go through the stars, though. I think that would be just
as long as it's not with TTBSA.
No.
To the stars.
Yeah.
And beyond.
Yeah, not those guys. Again, not a big fan of all that, but thank you, Paranormal Portal, for cautioning your portal peeps to wait for the second round of Mars colonization. Yeah, I want to be there for you guys. I know we're all ambitious to check out other places, but you might want to wait just a little bit on this one. Yeah. I think it's a great thing. I'm really excited by prospects of us moving out and setting up bases out there. And I don't know. I think that's, we're kind of meant for the stars for some reason,
You think so? You think we're supposed to be out there? You think we're not supposed to be down here just killing each other and things like that?
I don't even think we're meant for here. I mean, we're not built for here. I don't know where we're built for, but it just seems like of all of the species of this planet,
we're just
we're
right.
in a whole different page of not fitting in.
Right.
Right. We don't have any protection outside of clothes. We need shelters.
Right.
We just can't pull it off. Maybe our ancestors could, but we're kind of a gentle race, I would say, in the grand scheme of things.
You mean more like soft and squishy.
Right, exactly. Yep, I think that. That's right. That was done very well that time.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was getting better.
I had a chance to get to it. But anyhow, Real Deal says, what did Real Deal say? She said,
never mind Mars. We're all in the Twilight Zone
we're
these
all in
days.
the Twilight Zone, yeah.
Yeah, we sure are. We're in some kind of alternate reality where upside down is right side up and left is right. And
are we in
it's
the upside
crazy.
down?
We are in the upside down. We must be. We must have been wormholed into that deal. I don't know how this all works, but it's a strange world right now. But I don't know. I don't say we were cancer to the planet, but we're definitely kind of using it wrong, I think, Lewis. I think we could be much gentler in our
Yep.
appearance here on the soil. But anyway, that's something I hope we'll all figure out eventually. So those are some cool articles. I'm just looking through a couple more that I got pulled up. Oh God, I wanted to talk about this one. This really does seem paranormal.
What's that?
This does seem paranormal, and this is it's
Oh wow.
unexplained-mysteries.com again, and it's giant Darth Vader isopod was found in Indonesia. Look at that. That's a face only a mother could love.
Yep.
And
Or maybe all of $1.
researchers in Indonesia have discovered a new species of giant isopod, a bug-like creature the size of a small dog. The size of a small dog.
Wonder if that's good on the barbecue.
I bet you it probably comes out like shrimp in the end. Ever picked up a piece of wood outside and found it crawling with wood lice? Now imagine one of those insects, but enlarged several thousand times. It might sound like something out of a horror movie, but these enormous underwater crustaceans are very much the real deal. Found deep in the waters of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Wow. They're all over the place. The giant isopod can grow up to 20 inches in length.
Wow.
It's known to feed on carcasses that have floated down from the surface or to the seafloor. Researchers in Indonesia have discovered a specimen, the recently identified, Bathanamus rakasa isopod, a particularly large species referred to as the Darth Vader of the seas.
Wow.
The staff on our expedition team could not contain their excitement when they finally saw one. I'm going to get this link into the TFR because I know Bam's going to want to check this out. This is some freaky stuff right here, Bam. All right, there it is. And there you go. It says, staff on the expedition team could not contain their excitement when they finally saw one. The Likong Xian Natural History Museum wrote, "You can check out a photograph of one of the expedition members holding up the creature below. You certainly won't find one of these under a pile of wood in your garden." There it is, ladies and gentlemen. In real time, this person's holding one up. And there you have it. Now, it does look like a lobster tail, does it not?
It looks like a giant lobster tail, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like there actually might be two there.
Yep. I'm just saying. That might just work out in a grill.
I don't know.
Would you try it? I mean, let's say
I don't know because you really think about
legs.
it. Some of those things, think about it. Some of those things are just like giant lice, and it's like, sometimes you got to go. No, stop.
No, I think I heard that, and I just heard this. I don't know if there's any factual information for this, but that shrimp are actually basically insects of the ocean.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, if that's the case, I guess eating bugs isn't so weird because I like shrimp.
They're kind of tasty.
Yeah, I like shrimp and prawns. And would lobsters be then as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. All of those things are basically crustaceans in general.
Yeah. Okay. Like crabs are arachnids, right?
I don't know about that.
I think
know
they
they're
are.
more tasty, in my opinion, than shrimp.
Yeah, I like crab legs. I like crab legs an awful lot. Incredibly so, as a matter of fact. But I think that's very interesting. Even all those legs, look at it. It looks like crab legs, just a smaller version. So maybe these things are really pretty nummy. I don't know. I'm getting a little hungry here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, boy.
I smell a buffet. That's kind of cool. There you go. I've never heard of these before today, but there's another thing that we found. I found it a little bit earlier, but I was like, oh my God, that's creepy. So there's quite a face, though. The Darth Vader of the seas.
Huh.
I didn't know they were out there, but they're out there.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh,
No.
I went the wrong way. That's just doom, 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 doom.
Yes, it is. It is. Here's something having to do with ETs. This one I think we could show, though. I like this one. This one is actually a video element. I'm going to get this copied so I could send it to Bam, and he can check it out as well. But I'm going to put it up on screen here for all of us on YouTube. And hold on, Bam. It's coming. Okay. Here it is. Another link for you. And then I'm going to go over this with our audience here on YouTube as well as TFR iHeart. Tune in and TalkStream Live. Here's Russian cosmonaut films 5 UFOs from space. I thought this was pretty interesting because, I'll show the video because there's nothing really proprietary about it or anything. Ivan Wagner recently captured something unexplained over the Earth's southern hemisphere. The intriguing objects, which appeared as a row of 5 unidentified points of light, were inadvertently picked up while Wagner was filming time-lapse video of the aurora borealis. In the video, you'll see something else, not only the aurora rather. He wrote in a Twitter post, 5 objects appear flying alongside with the same distance. What do you think those are? Meteors, satellites, or ? Russia's space agency, Roscosmos, meanwhile, has reportedly found the footage so intriguing that it has since been sent away for analysis. It's too early to make conclusions that our Roscosmos researchers and scientists of the Space Research Institute of the Russian Academy of Sciences tell us what they think, said spokesman Vladimir something. It was decided to hand over those materials, and who will tell us what was in their opinion. You can check out the footage for yourself below. What do you think those 2 objects are? We're going to check it out. I'm willing to go there. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The clip is provided by space.com, but the point is to look here on the horizon because that's where.
Make it bigger.
Yeah. I guess I can. There's the objects right there, as shown on your screen.
Over,
yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty impressive. Now I gotta tell you, that would be huge if that's one craft. I can't believe that could possibly be one craft, but that's really a beautiful sight right there too.
Yep.
That's really amazing. I love the Northern Lights. They're just magical, and that's incredible. But where's the actual objects? Are they just at the beginning? I guess we'll go back and check out those objects again. Again, watch the horizon here. There they are. Yep. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a 5th one coming into play up on top there. That is just amazing. Again, we'll watch that one more time. That's a hell of a capture. Now, this is from a space station. This is not like, somebody out their back door, Right. So it's really an impressive visual for sure. But I think that's just really incredible. And what happens then? So they go there, and they just kind of fade out, like it's turning. It does kind of chop it off there, so it's hard to know what else was going on, or if it continued on, and we can't really see it. But
well, I wonder if they just highlighted that at the beginning, just real quick, so you would, get sucked into it. I don't know.
Maybe, but it doesn't really show up anywhere else in the footage that I saw. But there was something come across here just before that. I want to point that out again. There's something that kind of goes here. I need to go back a little earlier. But watch. There was something right there. Keep watching that space, like right in here.
Yep.
There, it was just a little light.
Maybe it was just a shooting star at that point, because.
Well, that wouldn't. Yeah, but that's. Yeah, I guess it could be
catching the light as it shoots by.
Right, but there is a little light up here, right there.
That went away, and then it flashed. Did you notice it flash?
Yeah, I did. That's what's curious.
It goes this way, and then it flashes.
Yeah, it's like boom and flashes. So it's probably hitting light speed. Oh, those flash was up here. Let's watch it again. There, boom. Yeah, the flash is up here. So it's like zip, boom, and something up there flashes. One more time. We only got a couple of minutes left, so I want to just do this one more time.
Wow, real deal. Thank you. She gave us $50.
Woo, love you bunches. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind. We really appreciate that. So that's the footage, ladies and gentlemen. That looks really incredible. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be, if it's not just a weird satellite, which it's obviously not, because we don't have anything that big for satellites out there. Unless that's some of Elon Musk's, little mini satellites out there flying in formation. But
I don't know how easy it would be to do something like that.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's really incredible footage, though. Yeah. That really is. And the source is really impeccable. So I think it's really probably some amazing footage. So there you have it. So anyway, I want to make sure, and thank you again, Miss Real. We really appreciate it. You're amazing and awesome. I want to tell everybody, make sure to stick around after the show for Paisley Wild coming up next on the Spaces Between.
Yep.
And she also simulcasts her show on YouTube, youtube.com/the Spaces Between. So you can check her out. We're about done. Don, anything in closing?
I want to apologize real quick to those who won the prizes like 3 weeks ago. I've been real crazy lately. It's not an excuse. I totally forgot to order them. I got them on order. Please be patient. We'll get them to you as soon as I can.
They're still coming. You still did win. We just haven't gotten it to you. But
Yeah, my apologies.
that's all right. We'll get there, and thank you guys for being patient. But I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody, and we love you bunches. See ya.
Bye.